So I'm able to fit both of these scooters in the back of my Toyota Prius. I have the Hiboy Max Pro, which is my scooter, and my son's scooter, the Hiboy S2R Plus. Both of these are great scooters. I purchased both of these with my own money. They were not given to me by Hiboy. I just really enjoyed them. I've had them for almost 2 years now, and I decided to showcase them on this channel because I love them so much. Only because when I'm out traveling and going places that I can't bring my 2024 Wired Freedom other e-bikes, this is how me and my son can get around and have fun, go down by the beach and do these things along with our vacation in, you know, a highly efficient Prius. I get about 65 miles to the gallon around town and about 55 on the freeway. So it's hard to pass that up. But I bring these two along with us to have a lot of fun. I'm gonna bring them out right now and show you the difference in size between the two. That's my favorite feature about this Hiboy Max Pro, is that it's a lot larger with a bigger deck. And it's very important for me because I'm 6'3" and about pushing 230 pounds or so. It has a 265 pound weight limit maximum, and this smaller scooter has about a 220 pound maximum weight limit. So they're quite different. This is a 36 volt scooter and this is a 48 volt scooter. So they are fairly different as far as power and acceleration. Top speed, the Hiboy Max Pro can go 22 miles an hour and the S2R Plus can only go about 19 miles an hour. Now with my weight on this scooter, I'm not able to really get those top speeds very easily unless I'm going on very flat ground or downhill. As far as pricing, this one's about $399 and the Max Pro is actually on sale right now for about I believe it's $699 or $649. You'll have to check the pricing. I will leave a link to my Amazon Associates account in case you are interested in picking up either of these scooters. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of showcase this scooter because I've loved it so much over the years, and I think it's a great value, especially if you are a bigger rider like I am and you're taller and scooters just don't fit you. You can't fit your feet on them. This one has plenty of room. It weighs about 51 pounds, and the smaller Hiboy, the S2R Plus, weighs about 31 pounds. So I'm gonna take both those out now and give you a side-by-side comparison of what they look like. Okay, so here are the two scooters side by side. You'll notice quite a few differences. One, the handlebars are a lot taller, obviously, on the Max Pro. I'd say it's at least, you know, a hand's height higher, so probably about 8 inches taller. The wheels and tires themselves are a 9-inch on the SR2 Plus, and they are 11 inches on the Hiboy Max Pro. Now, the power is also 500 watts nominal with 650 watts peak versus 350 watts and 500 watts peak. This has a front drive motor with a disc brake in the back right here, and the Hiboy Max has drum brakes with regenerative braking. They both have regenerative braking in the motor, so the motor will slow you down, sort of like I guess you would have in a hybrid car. The difference being this does have drum brakes because, from what I've heard, it enables the scooter to go through dirt without getting any rocks or dust or anything into the rotor pads, and it also gives you a little more clearance. If you'll notice here, this one, the rotor sits quite low when you're riding and off-roading. One other major difference between the two, while they both have front headlights right here and here, the rear, there's also lights on the back of both of them, so I'll turn those on now, and you can see those both have lights on the rear, which when you brake, they flash. And they both have front headlights as well. But you'll notice there's two brake levers here on the Hiboy Max, and there's only one for the S2R Plus. Now, as far as the ability to off-road, you will be able to get a lot more done on the Max, mostly because of the clearance and because of the size of the tires. Now, the suspension itself is helpful. However, I wouldn't say, there are some springs located back here. I wouldn't say the suspension is everything, but it does absorb a lot. So if you go off a curb, if you go into a rut or something like that, it is nice to have the suspension, but most of it is the size of the tires. These 11-inch tires are fairly wide, and they really make off-roading a lot easier. That thing I did want to mention about the lights though, the Hiboy Max Pro does have these LED lights, and I'll put a picture here on the screen of using it in the dark over at the lake and at sunset. It really shines brightly, so if you're riding even on the streets with traffic, it helps people to see you, which is really important. The Hiboy S2R Plus does not have the side ambient lights on there. Another really cool feature is both of these scooters have the ability to be controlled basically through the app. So if you go into the Max Pro, you're able to do things like change the drive mode from the 3 different speeds, E, D, and S. You're able to set or turn off cruise control, which is where if you hold the throttle down for a period of time, it will turn on and give you cruise control. You're able to turn on the lights and turn off the lights back and forth. You're also able to see your speed and your total riding time and all those different features. So it's really cool, very helpful. If you go back, you can go to the S2R Plus and you're able to do the same thing. You're able to turn on the Bluetooth, you turn on the headlights, turn off the headlights, whatever you'd like. Shows your remaining power as a percentage, which is really nice over the 5 LED bars that you get. On the Hiboy Max, it's red and green with 5 bars, and on the S2R Plus, it is just 5 bars. And you can also adjust through the app whether or not the scooter starts from a dead stop or if it starts after going 2 miles an hour. So 1 kick and then the motor kicks in for safety. So I have my son set that way so that if he accidentally hits the thumb throttle, it doesn't go flying away from him. But you can adjust that. I have mine turned on to where from a dead stop, my motor will accelerate right away. All right guys, so let's go take this scooter down onto the strand and we'll see what's going on down there. Like I said, really nice that the deck is so wide. You can fit your foot on there without having any problems. You can fit both your feet even and not have any issues with fitting those on there like I normally do. So I am not a fan of having some of these scooters that have a really small deck. It's really hard to put my feet on there. I'm a size 13. I weigh close to 230 pounds at the moment. And you know, I just really need something with a little more power. And the bigger tires and the little tiny bit of suspension really make a difference. I know it doesn't seem like it would matter that much when you look at the scooters, like there wouldn't be that big of a difference, but the ride quality between the two is like night and day. Check out that ocean, guys. Absolutely beautiful. So this is Oceanside, California. Recently the pier burned down. We had a fire at the very end of the pier and it burned the structure. It used to be a Ruby's Diner. It burned that pretty much, not completely, but it burned it almost all the way down. And so they're rebuilding that and part of the pier as well. Right now we have high tide, so the water's all the way up to the rocks, but normally there's a little bit of sand right here. Tons of e-bikers and all different types of electric toys out here. You'll see everything from one wheels to scooters to e-bikes to Surons to just everything you can imagine. I even saw a dual front wheel bicycle, an e-bike, the other day. It had 2 front wheels like side by side right next to each other. It's really cool. I did not get a photo of it, unfortunately, but this motor is almost completely silent. You won't hear any noise coming from the motor at all, and it is a rear wheel motor, so you can pop wheelies to some extent. I'm obviously not that great at it, especially with the power, and I'm able to get the front wheel up a little bit. My kid always wants to borrow this one from me because he loves to try to pop wheelies all the time. But it is great, and as far as braking, you're able to stop really quickly if you need to. And I love having that acceleration from a dead stop. It just makes it that much easier to ride, because when you have to kick to pedal to start like that, I just feel like it's not the same. Check out this car, guys. Buick, super dope. It has a 46-mile range, supposedly. Now I've gotten it to go about 25 miles an hour at full throttle the entire time. And with my weight of about 230 pounds, you're gonna get about 25 miles range, which is still really good out of a scooter. I would say if you're a little lighter and you're not going full throttle the entire time, you'll definitely get closer to 30, maybe even 35. I think 46 miles, the only way you're really gonna get that kind of range is if you have it in like the lowest drive mode, you know, in D. And I think that, you know, you're going, or I'm sorry, in Eco. So this says Eco, D, and S. S is the fastest, D is drive, and then Eco is, you know, economy. I'd say you have to be an Eco, and you got to be a lighter rider to be able to get close to that 45, 46 mile range. But it does have a large battery. It's a 48 volt system with a 15 amp hour battery. That's, I think, 720 watt hours, I do believe, at 48 volts. So it's a really powerful scooter. It's got bigger handles that are taller with a wider deck and bigger tires. So everything I like about it being a bigger rider and someone who needs the larger size. If you're not someone who needs a larger size and you want something that's easier to put in the back of your car and that's a lighter weight, this is 51 pounds, then go with something like the S2R Plus with the removable battery. You can bring a second battery with you and you're able to get a lot of range out of that. In fact, if you bring both of those batteries, you could probably get a similar range to this scooter, if not more, depending on your weight. Like I said, I struggle a little bit with that smaller scooter because my feet don't fit as well. The ride is not quite as comfortable for me, especially off-roading or riding on, you know, rugged type of terrain like this here. And also, it just doesn't quite have the power or the weight capacity. At 220 pounds, I'm really pushing the weight limit on that scooter. And so something like this is just much more powerful and able to hold my weight and also pull it up hills. So there's a little amphitheater where they sometimes put on performances and shows. There's barbecue pits and lunch tables, concrete tables. It's really a good time. Coffee places, ice cream, lemonade, funnel cake, everything you could want. Tamales and nachos. Check this guy out, playing music. He's got the system going right here. Check this out. He's for hire, guys. So I am down here at the boys' shop. Sick. It's a good time down by the beach as usual, guys. Got the shaved and ice cream over here, tikis.com. And a lot of kids these days will bring their, mostly Rad Rovers it seems like, down. That's a Rad Runner. And they'll bring their surfboards down. Here's a Milad right here. He's got the dual battery version. Pretty cool. Dual battery Milad, I think it's the Milad Max, I believe. It's pretty cool. All kinds of rentals. You can rent bikes and trolley bikes with like 4 wheels and whatnot. So what I'm gonna do is run up this pier and kind of check things out up top real quick. It's about to be a 4th of July celebration. So again, this is super steep. I'm gonna kind of wind back and forth on it. It's a little too steep. It's probably 30% here. I'll go ahead and walk it up. This does also have regenerative braking. So when you brake, that front wheel does regen when you're in brake mode, which is really cool. We got some telescopes. I'm not sure what they call these telescopes when there's 2 eyes for it, if that's different than a telescope. You can leave a comment below, let me know. But this wood pier is super cool. You kind of look over the edge and watch the waves come in, check out the surfers. You can sort of see the beach and everything as well. Really cool. Weather's about 73 degrees. Unbelievably perfect. Cool shot there of the pier. So let's go down and check out this pier with the damage from the fire. My friend says that you can get really close to it. So let's go check it out. You got people that, you know, fish off the edge of the pier as a municipal fishing pier. So see stuff like this here where the wood is not ideal. You can kind of bounce right over it and you're able to ride even though it's very bumpy on a traditional, especially those hard-wheeled, hard-wheeled scooters that you can buy like at Costco. Those things are super uncomfortable when you're riding on anything with any type of bumps or anything like that, or cracks even in the cement. You're not going to have a good time. You guys check out this pelican just chilling. Doesn't even look real. Just waiting for the fishermen to catch some fish so they can eat them. Alright, so we made it to the end of the pier. I ended up having to walk the scooter because you're not allowed to ride it on the pier, which makes sense with all the people. I'll zoom in so you guys can get kind of a better image of that. But pretty crazy and pretty intense little fire that burned everything down out there. Different types of service. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop back on the Max Pro, but first I'm gonna walk it off of the pier and then we're gonna go ride around a little bit further. Got the sea lion out here and out here. Check out these mussels, they're just sitting right here. Guy's got a Suron going. And hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. If you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.